Two transgender high school students in New Hampshire just became the first to challenge the president's executive order aimed at banning trans girls and women from competing on women's sports teams. They previously challenged a law in their state that kept trans girls in grades 5 through 12 from playing girls' sports. And last week, their attorneys added Donald Trump and members of his administration as defendants in that lawsuit. Parker Tirrell is a 16-year-old sophomore who plays on the girls' soccer team at her high school. And Iris Turmelle is a 15-year-old freshman who is planning to try out for the girls' tennis and track and field teams at her school. Parker and Iris are here with me now, along with their mothers, Sarah Tirrell and Amy Manzelli. We're also joined by Chris Erchull, an attorney who is representing both teens and their families. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Parker, I'm going to start with you, Parker, because I know that you love soccer. From what I've seen online, you're a really good soccer player. But I also understand, Parker, that a federal judge has temporarily allowed you, to keep playing on your high school team. So people understand, what does soccer mean to you, Parker?
It pretty much means the world to me. I've been playing for 12 years. It's just really important.
For you, Parker, what's the sort of motivation behind this lawsuit? What does that mean to you?
The motivation behind it was just me wanting to continue to do one of the things that I love most in my life.
And Iris, just like Parker, I know that you have the intention of playing tennis, you want to try out track and field. How would this potential ban impact the rest of your high school experience, Iris?
I would not be able to try out for tennis, for track and field. I would not be able to try new things. I would be stuck doing things that I might necessarily not like the next year. I could be stuck in the same thing over and over.
Let me ask you, do you have any preference so far between tennis or track and field, one way or the other?
Yeah, I haven't, the season hasn't started for what I want to do for track and field, and tennis hasn't started yet.
Okay, so that remains to be seen. We'll see. Chris, what does all of this mean to you? Here you are representing two high school students in a lawsuit against the president of the United States, who essentially does not see their humanity. What does this mean to you?
So transgender girls play school sports for the same reasons as any other students. Sports are essential to education. For so many young people, sports is where they develop life skills like leadership, teamwork, self-discipline, confidence. These are skills that Parker and Iris are going to need when they're adults. The current administration has launched a targeted and sustained attack aimed at making it impossible for transgender people to function in society. It's employment, it's housing, it's travel, medical care, education. What we've seen in the last 4 weeks since the inauguration has been dehumanizing, and it's been chilling. And the targeting of vulnerable transgender children is just beyond the pale. I'm so grateful and I'm so proud that Parker and Iris are willing to stand up and fight for their rights.
I know, Parker, I mean, it takes a lot of courage. What's been the response from your schoolmates and your friends around this lawsuit? Have they been supportive? How are you dealing with that?
All of my friends have been very supportive. They agree with me that it's just kind of stupid to single me out for no particular reason.
On that note, Iris, since again, what you're doing is extremely courageous, there's a lot of other trans girls that are observing what you both are doing, that are paying attention. Some may feel scared, others are feeling inspired. What message would you give to other transgender people in the country right now?
Stay strong, keep fighting. We're out here, we exist, and we will not stop fighting.
Now to the moms, Amy and Sarah. Amy, I'll start with you. What does it feel like to see your daughter standing up, to protect her rights? What is that like?
Yeah, it's it's pretty amazing, you know, and it hasn't been easy. As if being a 15-year-old starting high school isn't hard enough. There hasn't been universal support for Iris ever since the presidential election. There's been an uptick in harassment, and so seeing her stand up and be a representative for all of the trans girls out there is just amazing. Her dad and I could not be prouder of Iris and Parker.
Sarah, I think one of the things that's happening here, right, is that the truth is that most Americans don't know transgender people. And if you don't know people, it's extremely easy to allow yourself to dehumanize people. No? And so what is your message to mothers and parents and people across the country that are paying attention to what the Trump administration is doing? What do you tell them about your daughter?
Parker is just a normal kid, like every other kid out there. There's very little that you would find different between her and anybody else on the team, anybody else in her school. She's just a teenager. She just wants to be a kid like everybody else. And that's what we really hope for her. Honestly, she's the bravest person I know. And so I really hope that all of this effort is for the good.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm wondering if for both of you, do you fear any retaliation? Have you felt any, any sense of danger since this lawsuit came to surface?
In our community, we feel pretty safe. Oh, go ahead, Amy.
It's a concern, but we haven't ever experienced anything like that. We feel relatively safe, and we hope that remains the case. Go ahead, Sarah. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Yeah, the same. We feel pretty safe and secure in our community. When we have to step outside of that community, we do feel pretty worried and concerned, especially at the federal level. Watching what's going on right now, that causes us to lose a lot of sleep.
And Chris, briefly with you, what's the heart of the strategy for you? How are you thinking about this case?
Look, we all come before the law as equals. It's a guarantee in the Constitution. And when the government singles out a group of people because of animus, because of moral disapproval, the courts have an obligation to step in and stop it. And we're confident that courts are going to be behind us as we expose that the real drive, the real motivation behind the executive order that the president signed is to harm transgender people.
Again, here's the most important question for Parker and Iris. I play basketball. I don't play soccer. I don't play tennis. If we were to have a match, who should I pick? That's a bad question, because both of you are probably really good.
I'm a bit confused as to
I'm horrible.
You're terrible? What about you?
I will fail. I'm horrible at basketball.
Okay. One more thing. Any athletes out there that you both are inspired by?
I don't personally follow a lot of soccer, but in basketball, at least, I do really enjoy Caitlin Clark. I think she's inspiring and really amazing.
There you go. I want to thank all of you for making the time to be here tonight with me, and just how brave and courageous you are. I really hope that people across the country are listening to you and paying attention, because it's truly remarkable. So thank you.